Shambho Mahadeva Deva, Shambho Mahadeva Deva. Chanting the name of God should become almost your second life, parallel to the mind. Wherever you are, whatever you do, what is the harm in keeping God's name in your tongue? You need not have music also. In any manner you like to chant the name of God, all sounds are equally produced by God. So He can never refuse anything. So I will continue my session? Or do you want any change? Huh? So you want me to go away from Bhagavad Gita? Huh? I thought I will give you a very good entry into Bhagavad Gita by explaining it essentially and also very graphically. I think I am doing it, is it not?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
So that all children will pick up, understand it. Harihi, Harihi, Harihi. Jayadu Jayadu Devo Devaki Nandanoyam Jayati Jayati Krishno Vrishnivam Shapradivaha Jayati Jayati Megha Shyamala Komalango Jayati Jayati Prithvi Bharanasho Mukunda. Can you give me a little more volume or there will be trouble? Jayati Jayati Prithvi Bharanasho Mukunda. Madhya Hridaya Kashe Sadanandamayo Guru Udedu Satatam Samyak Swatmananda Prabodhakaha. Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Tats. Jaya Guru, Jaya Guru. We will have, as usual, 3 times chorus recitation of Omkara. Interlock your fingers and put them on your lap. Sit comfortably erect. Close your eyes. Open the mouth and the heart and join me. But, here comes the role of the mind. By your mind you should think that the recitation should spread the entire globe, showering its benedictions on all creatures, forms of life upon the earth, which means in the sea also. All of you should use your full throat, full mind. You should listen to your sound. That is very important. Harihi Om Tats. Harihi Om Tats. Jaya Guru. Shall we recite the verses we have learned? You are not putting up the board? Huh? Why are we delayed?
Sometimes there is some booming happening. We are testing it. We are increasing.
Arpanya dosho bhagata swabhavaha. Not satisfied at all. I cannot give you a good certificate that you are good students. You want your children to learn, but here is a Swami who wants you also to learn. Where is Aravindan gone? Are? What about board here? This is, you show one after the verse as I recite. I must be able to see also. Put it in such an angle. No, they must be able to see. Is not Aravindan there? Then Sanjay, you take over. Shall I start?
Yes, sir.
Let it be shown here.
It is being started.
Otherwise they are not able to get it.
Go to chanting.
What happened today you forgot? Karpanya dosho bhagata
Karpanyadoshopahat
swabhavaha.
Swabhavaha
Karpanya dosho bhagata swabhavaha.
Karpanyadoshopahat Swabhavaha
Pruchhami tvam
Prichhami Tvam
dharma sammudha cheta.
Dharma Sammudha-chetaha
Yashreyasya
Yah Shreyasyat
Nishchitam bruhi tanme
Nishchitam Bruhi Tanme
Shishyasteham
Shishyasteham
Shadhimam
Shadhimam
Tvam prapannam
Tvam Prapannam
Shishyasteham
Shishyasteham
Shadhimam
Shadhimam
Tvam prapannam.
Tvam Prapannam.
The next sloka is Ashocyan Anvashocastvam. The first one. Ashocyan Anvashocastvam.
Ashocyananvashocastvam
Prajnabadamscha bhashase.
Prajnavadamscha bhashase
Gatasun agatasumscha.
Gatasunagatasumscha
Nanushocanti panditaha.
Nanushocanti panditaha.
I will recite it again. Ashocyan Anvashocastvam prajnavadamscha bhashase gatasu nagatasumscha
Gatasuna gatasumscha
nanushocanti pandita.
Nanushocanti panditaha.
The entire hub of Bhagavad Gita is the next sloka. Natvevaham jadunasam
Natvevaham jatunasam
natvam neme janadhipa
Natvam neme janadhipaha
nachaiva na bhavishyamaha
Nachaiva na bhavishyamaha
sarve vayamatah param
Sarve vayamatah param
sarve vayamatah param.
Sarve vayamatah param.
You should understand the context of Bhagavad Gita. I want to speak about it thousands of times with a million mouths. It is something that transpired more than 5,000 years ago in Kurukshetra battlefield, which is 145 kilometers off New Delhi, the present Indian capital. The state has identified the place and they are trying to bring it to its old importance. 5,000 years back, a warfield dialogue took place just after the war cries were raised and the discharge of arrows had not just commenced. In between, Arjuna wanted Krishna to drive his chariot and station it in a proper position so that he could examine both the armies and decide upon his strategy for war. Arjuna had raised his bow and he was happy that he was able to order Krishna. You know, Krishna had made two offers, one equal to the other. When Duryodhana and Arjuna went to Dwaraka seeking his support and participation in the war. Do you know the story? Huh? How many know? Do you know all of it? I doubt. So shall I say or not? Okay. Krishna was always a very clever person, very practical. He knew that Duryodhana and Arjuna, both of them would arrive seeking his help. Duryodhana came first. Krishna was asleep. He was not actually asleep. He did not want to see Duryodhana and he did not want Duryodhana to see him also. So he closed his eyes and slept. Arjuna came a little later. Duryodhana having come earlier and Krishna was not there for him to talk to, he went and sat at the head side. Are you following me? What will you do? This is what Duryodhana did. Arjuna came. He came pantingly. He found Duryodhana right then. So he came and prostrated before the feet of Krishna and sat at the feet side. Krishna ensured that both were seated properly in the way he wanted. So he opened his eyes and he was getting up, saw Arjuna first, and then saw Duryodhana. Now the question arose, both of them had come seeking the help of Krishna. Who should be given the first offer? Duryodhana said, I have come first. Therefore, I should be given the first choice. Krishna said, though you came first, I saw Arjuna first. See? Do you understand the magic here? Huh? What will you do? If you want to learn to live cleverly and successfully, learn Krishna from every act of his. From every act of his. Krishna said, I am dividing my resources before you. On the one hand, my full, powerful Narayani Sena would be there. Narayani Sena means the army which was named Narayani, very powerful. On the other side, I shall stand alone, and I will not take any weapon or employ it. Now you can choose between the two. Between the two. Krishna was quite apprehensive. How to avoid Duryodhana asking for dangerous choice. That is why he said, I saw Arjuna first. Therefore, he is young also. So you should give him the first choice. So Arjuna said, my dear Lord, I want only you. Only you. Duryodhana was so happy. Fool number one. See, he has sought Krishna. Krishna. What is the use of this fellow? With no weapon, nothing. What will he do? I have got my choice. Narayani Sena, powerful one. So he was very happy. After Duryodhana left, Krishna got an opportunity to talk to Arjuna. He asked him, my dear Arjuna, why did you choose me in preference to my Narayani Sena? Arjuna was a little shy and he was joyous also. He said, my dear Krishna, for long I had cherished a desire to fight a historic war, keeping you as my charioteer. Anybody can become a charioteer. Don't think drivers alone are. Great Maharathis sometimes used to chariot the chariot of other great fighters. And the role of the charioteer is not merely to drive the horses. Whenever the master of the chariot gets into a depression, he becomes a little doubtful, fearful, suspicious, etc. It is for the charioteer to restore the spirit and enthusiasm of the master of the chariot. In Mahabharata, there is a detailed description about the qualifications of a good charioteer. So I wanted to win a war, keeping you as my charioteer. Krishna smiled and agreed. Actually, the charioteer's position was the best for Krishna and also Arjuna. So Arjuna told him with a lot of valor, ego, pride, etc., I have got the occasion to order my friend. So he held Gandiva loftily and said, drive my chariot, station it right in front, in between the two armies, so that I can examine them. Krishna drove the chariot, they galloped, and when they reached right at the center in front of Bhishma, the grandfather, and Drona, the teacher, he stopped and then said, Vaja partha pasyayidan samavedan kuru nidhi. See the army which is assembled before you. And your army you also know, already know. The moment Krishna looked at Bhishma and Drona, a number of kith and kin on both sides, Arjuna could not stand the impacts. He was going to fight a war. Generally, war is fought between enemies, stark enemies. But this is a war, Krishna, where I find my own people arrayed on both sides, relatives, friends, well-wishers, etc. Can there be a war between friends and well-wishers? How can I fight this war? To cap everything, my grandfather is there. My teacher is there. It is from Dronacharya that I have learned all the archery skill. It is this Bhishma who brought me up as a little child. I had lost my father. Between us there is nothing other than love and respect. So without enmity, how can a war be fought? The moment I see my grandfather and the teacher, I should and will fall at their feet and ask for blessings. In place of that, you want me to use my sharp arrows and hit them. Even if I want to fight, where is the mental and moral sanction for it? Arjuna's body began to tremble. His famous bow slipped from his hand. He was unable to hold it. What do you say? His mouth went dry. His mind started whirling like a whirlwind. And the intelligence said, this is a sinful war, don't fight it, go back. Tell me what is there left in Arjuna to help him? His material acquisition Gandiva failed, body failed, mind failed, intelligence failed. What is there left aside? Nothing. He said, I will not fight, and presented a number of arguments quoting the Vedas, Shastras, etc. before Krishna. Krishna did not approve of it. He said, this is timidity. This is weakness of the mind and heart. In a battlefield, there is no place for these adverse qualities. Here people come to fight. Either kill the opponents or get killed by them. Nobody wants to walk away from the battlefield defeated. If anybody is going to survive and walk away from the field, they will have won the war, liquidated the enemies. What are you saying? Is this the first war the world has seen? India had at the time of independence more than 600 kingdoms. Are you hearing me? That means more than 600 kings were there. So what should have been the original number before British East India Company set their foot in India? And many of these kingdoms were fighting against one another to become emperors. And in the war, all those who died were men. So the Kshatriya, the warrior community, always had lesser men and more women. So a sanction was given to them. Any Kshatriya woman coming and catching hold of your hand, seeking your hand, you cannot refuse. That is why in the Kshatriya community, polygamy, many wives were in vogue. It was a need. It was a need. Our Shastras are very good and great, but they are not rigid. They are very flexible. They will take the factors into account, and in order to resolve a crisis or achieve a goal, whatever is necessary, they will amend and then prescribe. Even now in democratic countries where elected constitution is there, elected government is there, 2 or 3 times in a year, the assembly or parliament meets. When the parliament meets, you tell me, what are they doing? Can you tell me? They meet for what? To pass legislations. Study the affairs of the country and pass legislations. So they are making law after law. This kind of an amendment was there in our country earlier also. That is why, like constitution, we have so many smridis. Vyasa Smriti, Manu Smriti, Parashara Smriti, Yajnavalkya Smriti, etc., etc. Every time a Smriti was written in order to take in and resolve a particular life situation. Arjuna faced a battle in which 4.5 million warriors minus 10 were to be butchered in the course of 18 days. If you were one of the fighters there, tell me, what would have been your reaction, your response? I want an answer from you. However experienced Arjuna was, he was totally unnerved. By his taking up his Gandiva and fighting, the war would become a reality. As a result of that, 4.5 million warriors minus 10 will have lost their life. Arjuna could not contain the impact. What a huge bloodshed is this. I cannot allow it. So I will not fight, he said. Krishna pooh-poohed him. What? What? 13 years you were, 12 years in the forest, and 1 year incognito in the plains. During then, you performed foregoing sleep, even austerity, to win your Pashupadastra. So you were craving to fight, preparing to fight. And having come to the battlefield, you are now saying, I will not fight. I am sympathetic. This is not a place for showing sympathy. Suppose a surgeon has to amputate the leg of a patient. Can he stand and plead sympathy? Oh, I will be crippling him. The whole life will be lost. The family will be affected. He will have a substandard life. How can I amputate? Can he start thinking like this? Huh? They will only think of the disease and curing the disease. No other thought is allowed there. No other thought is allowed. Some medical ethics are there, is there. Now, this is the situation in which Bhagavad Gita took place. Any one of you who is in the active field in the world, you will find Bhagavad Gita fully applicable to you, as it was to Arjuna. In the case of Arjuna, it was a battle with weapons. In the case of all of you, it is a weaponless fight of your own life and life's challenges. Am I clear or not? Huh? There also, the problem was in Arjuna's mind. Here also, the problem is first rent and felt by the mind. It has to be resolved by the intelligence. Mind creates and feels the problem, and intelligence resolves the problem, provides the solution. Every time this is the story of human life. Yesterday I told you about, give me the verse. Yesterday I told you about Arjuna, you are grieving over those people who should not be grieved at. The wise do not differentiate between life and death, and then start separating the two and grieving over death and praising life. They don't do that. You speak about birth, you also think about death. But Arjuna, the birth and death only applicable to the body of man. Both of them are inapplicable to the I in everyone. I don't know whether you understand me. Enna pesami irukkalappa? Badal sollungo. Are you understanding me? Are you with me? Then why don't you indicate it when I ask you? We speak about birth and death. We have not seen our birth. Have you? Is there anybody who has died? Have you seen anyone who will say, I died and I am here? About birth you don't know, and you have never seen or experienced a death. Then why are you so much bothered about birth and death? In every other field you say, direct experience I want. I want to see things in pratyaksha, in front of my eyes. Have you seen your birth? Even the parents cannot say, this is my child with experience. The husband can say, she is my wife, she is very loyal to me. So the pregnancy she has and the child born must have been mine. Must have been mine. Has he seen? Has the mother seen? Even if you take DNA test, etc., even then it is a test in the physical level and you are concluding that this is my child. Understand it well. Hinduism is all based upon pure logic and reason. Our senses cannot see the major part of creation. It can see only the outside world. But what sees the outside world is the inner mind. So tell me, which is more important? The outside world or the inner mind? And ask your eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin, please reveal to me the existence of the mind. Will they be able to do? What more do you want? To listen to Gita, to listen to our scriptures. All of them are revelations from the mind, the heart and the intelligence. So he told Arjuna, don't unnecessarily praise life and blame death. Unevenness of the mind is the greatest adversity of human life. We are born here to have equal fondness for all. We are not born here to differentiate between. In the same family, 2, 3, 4 or 5 children would have been born. They would have played together, beaten each other, cried, etc. But when they grow old and get married, the 5 go in 5 different directions. If one is amply rich, the other is miserably poor. The rich brother does not feel like helping the poor brother. You family people feel that you are great, but here is a Swami who tells you, you are not great. The family breeds differences, selfishness alone. Unless you drop your selfishness, when a child is born to you, instantly you should start feeling, so many children are born in so many different families. All of them are like my children, my child. The woman becomes a mother. Biologically, she is the mother of a child. But emotionally, inwardly, she should start imbibing the motherhood of a number of children. Tell me whether I am saying what he is saying is correct or not. Yes. But does it take place? No. Whom shall I blame? I am not blaming you. This is the adversity of human life, travesty of human life. We are supposed to grow, expand. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is our ideal, sung from prehistoric times. The entire earth is your family. Your family is not contained by the 4 walls of your house. Your body may be living there, but the body is an appendage. Your mind is not part of the body, nor intelligence is. Both of them are associated with the body. but they are not material or physical parts of the body. Speak the language of the mind, the language of the intelligence, the language of the heart. Stop speaking about body, physicality and physical relationship. We want people who love the society, love the nation, love the globe, love humanity, and better still, love the entire creature kingdoms of the earth. What do you say? Am I talking sense or nonsense? Why are we eating? We are humans. We are humans. We eat in order to live. But many of the humans are living in order to we provide food and nourishment to the body so that the senses will thrive, the mind will thrive, the brain will thrive, and will do their functions beautifully and well. So Krishna said, understand, I gave you the identity. Natve vaham jadunasam natvam neme janadhipaha najaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param. Rewrite, rewrite, rewrite the understanding of the I in you. Everyone says I, first personal pronoun. Only when the I is there, you will be there. He, she, it and they will be there. The triangle of life will be on. The I is the first, the pivotal point in our life. That I is not the body or its part. Arjuna, this I is real existence. Existence. It only knows to exist. It will never become non-existent. A thing cannot change its nature, is a chemistry law. If the I is X, it continues to be the X. If body is Y, it continues to be the body. The I cannot be the body, and body cannot be the I. The body is mine. I am different from the body. I can see an object only when it is different from me. And in seeing the object, I stand and I am the subject. Can the subject become the object? Can the subject become the object? Can the object become the subject? So can the I become the body? Then why are you saying people will die? Who will die? Bodies will die. When you interact with the bodies of the people, are you interacting with the living bodies or dead bodies? உங்களுக்கு புரியல நான் சொல்றது. I am all seeing you. Am I seeing you as bodies or am I seeing you as living beings? That living being, is it a description of the material matter body? When I see you, I find life pulsating in you. That life is not the body. Can matter produce life? Boliye na thoda. Our body is full of matter, and matter is inert. Am I seeing you as inert bodies or am I seeing you as living bodies? That means I am seeing livingness in you. Livingness. This livingness does not belong to the body, my dear souls. Like heat belongs to the fire, cold belongs to the ice, white color belongs to the milk. Livingness belongs to the self, the I. Am I clear? Yes. Never mistake. Either you start saying tomorrow, I am body, body, or you say, my body, my body, my body. You already say that. Today you are not looking good. What is your trouble? Oh, my stomach is in disorder. Then it became my stomach. When you have pain, what are you saying? My hand is paining. When an arm is amputated, does the eye get amputated? This is your identity. There was no time when you were not. There was no time when you were absent. There will not be a time when you are going to be absent. And so far as now is concerned, we are already present. If you are present now, you must have been present earlier as well. Is the logic understood? If something is not present, it cannot come to be present. Existence will continue to exist. It can never become non-existent. Your biological body is what dies, and biological body is what was born. In the whole birth, death and the life in between, the I remains singular, separate, distinct, different from matter and energy which body is. That is sovereign, 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 totally singular, totally independent. That independence, realizing it, realizing your own nature, realizing the I in you, this is what conduces to liberation, knowledge, freedom, ecstasy, inner abundance and opulence. Don't be beggars of contentment. Be masters of it. Create it, generate it, preserve it and distribute it. You don't require a single farthing for it. Not a single cent or ringgit is necessary. Open the book, read it. Think about it, reflect upon it, ruminate, introspect, and grow in your mastery, in your magnificence, in your inner splendor. Be good, great, and glorious. Mudima mudiyada? என்ன சொல்றீங்களப்பா? முடியுமா முடியாதா? நீ என்ன சொல்றாயம்மா? முடியுமா முடியாதா? Arjuna was thunderstruck. His friend Krishna telling him, you think I was born of Devaki? Not at all. Devaki gave birth to my body. I am not the body. I existed before the body was born. As I exist in the body, I will continue to exist after the body falls. And this is so not only with regard to me, but with regard to you, Arjuna, and Bhishma and Drona, about whom you grieve. புரியுறதா உங்களுக்கு? புரியுறதா? Tell me, what are my words? Are they meaningful, relevant, logical and rational? Then follow Gita. Krishna said, no, I am sorry, Arjuna said, I heard you well. But we are here to kill people, and all of them will die. Is not death a loss? Is not death an extinction of life? Krishna says, no. In death there is no extinction at all. Rewrite your mind. Death is a complement to birth, and birth is a complement to death. If people die, they will also be born. And the born will grow. The grown-up will decline, and the declining will degenerate and die. There is no motion in a straight line. Everything is cyclic here. Cyclic here. Cyclic. If people are born, they will also die. And what is that death? He explains it. Dehinosmin. Dehinosmin. Yatha dehe. Dehinosmin yatha dehe. Kaumaram yauvanam jara.
Kaumaram yauvanam jara.
Kaumaram yauvanam jara.
Kaumaram yauvanam jara.
Tatha
Tatha
dehantara praptihi.
Dehantara praptihi. Deha antara
praptihi.
praptihi.
Dehantara praptihi.
Dehantara praptihi.
Tatha
Tatha
dehantara praptihi.
Dehantara praptihi.
Dhiraha
Dhiraha
tatra
Tatra
namuhyate.
Namuhyati
Namuhyate.
Namuhyati
Namuhyate.
Namuhyati.
This is the classical immortal message. Oh, I am sorry, Mukhyati. I was wondering. Dhiras tatra namuhyati.
Dhirastatra namuhyati.
Dhiras tatra namuhyati.
Dhirastatra namuhyati.
The wise man. What? Say? The wise man. Why? That is reserved for the children alone. Then you all get up and go. I want, otherwise why should I take like that? I never take classes like this. How slowly, steadily, inspiringly, using a lot of force, trying to make it interesting, and then all of you are taking. Dhiraha. Tatra.
Tatra
Namuhyadi.
namuhyati.
Namuhyadi.
Namuhyati.
Namuhyadi.
Namuhyati.
The wise man there does not get deluded. Does not get deluded. With nobody's death, you should be deluded. What? When people are born, you distribute sweets. And when they die, I have seen families where a young husband dies. To do what a dead body needs, some neighbors have to come. The wife is there, the husband is there, they are bonded with love, etc. So if the husband's life has gone, don't you think the wife should be the first person to attend on the dead body and do whatever is necessary? Otherwise, why did you get married? Are we so weak? If death is a part of household life, we become equipped to handle it. Bhagavad Gita makes you do so. Your parents will not give you that strength. The academic teachers will not give you that strength. But spiritual teachers, Bhagavad Gita, will give you that strength. It will give you the right vision. Whatever takes place in a household, everything we should be harmonious with. We must be able to deal with. In a hospital where life is supposed to be treated and preserved, now and then people also die. Can the doctors become dejected and leave their profession? What are you saying? So he says, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kau. And the mother's uterus wants to. The child also wants to come out. The uterus also wants to throw it off. Tell me, which point of time there is no change? Inside the stomach, inside the uterus, the child was growing, manifesting changes. When the child came out, then also it is growth. What is the first growth? First of all, it was a tiny baby. Then gradually it became a child. Thereafter it became an adolescent. Then became a youth. 21 years pass, the growth is completed. Tell me what will follow. When the growth is completed, what will follow? Huh? What? Old age will not suddenly come. After the growth is completed, the decline will start. It starts from the next moment. And that decline, that also grows. So it means, just as one dwelling in the body undergoes childhood, youth and old age, so too is the transition of the body. Say growth is over, decline also is over, the time has come to leave the body. So what should you do? Old people should not die or should die? Adukkum sandeham. Old people should die or should not die? Should die. Enna neenga bayandhugalappa. You have not merely the eyes to see, you have the mind to think and the intelligence to understand. The world is an open book of knowledge. Everywhere there is a lesson for you. Be humble, be thoughtful, be introspecting, be persistent, be devout, be tenacious. There is no place for idleness here, delusion here, unnecessary fear and suspicion. No, no, no. Your mind is your mind, not the mother's mind, the father's mind, the neighbor's mind. To make it or mar it is your responsibility. Either you make it or you mar it. Tell me, what do you want to do? Then try. As you are eating food to nourish the body, you also feed good thoughts to the mind, good knowledge to the intelligence. Nourish them. Let them grow. Let them grow. Our birth itself is a transition from the womb to the open air. If the child does not grow day by day, the parents will be worried, doctors will be alerted. Suppose at the age of 21 your growth does not stop, you continue to grow, would you like it? Huh? Every year you will have to replace the dose. So as is growth, so is decline. As is birth, so also is death. But what is death? Tatha dehantara praptihi. Sollungo. Death is leaving the body in order to take another. It is not a loss. It is not a negation. The body left is an old one, and the body to be gained is a fresh one. Suppose I ask you, I shall replace your old body with the same body at an young age. Would you like it or not? No. Yes, everybody will like it. Yeah. Suppose a medicine is advertised to grow younger. All of you will buy the medicine and eat. Yeah. Don't try to fool me. See, any body left is old. And the body to be gained is fresh. Another tenor in the mother's womb and coming out fresh. So it is only begetting another body, but never losing. Extinction is not there. So stop thinking that death is an extinction. It is only a transition. It is only a transition, not an extinction. Why don't you think boldly, confidently, openly, freely? What prevents you from doing it? So, tatha dehantara praptihi dhirastatra na muhyadi. There is no watch. Give me something because they have put. I am not able to see it there. The curtain has closed it, I think. Huh? That's okay. What do you say? I already told you that Krishna tells Uddhava, Mrityuhu atyanda vismridhihi. The death is a total forgetfulness. Do not think, how will I die? You will not know. It is a sleep. Every day you are dying. But you wake up the next day. The day when the biological body will stop functioning, it is a sleep from which you will not wake up. Recast your idea of sleep, of death. Every day we are dying. But we wake up. But from the other death, we will not wake up, that's all. But it is no different from sleep at all. At all. Mrityuhu, say? Atyanda vismridhihi. Why all of you are not saying? Mrityuhu atyanda vismritihi.
Vismritihi.
Mrityuhu
atyanda
vismritihi.
Atyanta vismritihi.
If you start thinking in this manner, will you not become more courageous? Yes or no? Yes. Don't simply say yes. And stand by what you have said. Every day you should be more courageous. You should be more focused. You should be more confident. You should think as much of others as you think of yourselves. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi dhirastatra na muhyadi. Now you have to chant. Dehinosmin yatha dehe
Dehinosmin yatha dehe
kaumaram yauvanam jara
Kaumaram yauvanam jara
tatha dehantara praptihi
Tatha dehantara praptihi
dhirastatra na muhyadi.
Dhirastatra na muhyati
Dhirastatra na muhyadi.
Dhirastatra na muhyati
Dehinosmin yatha dehe
Dehinosmin yatha dehe
kaumaram yauvanam jara
Kaumaram yauvanam jara
tatha dehantara praptihi
Tatha dehantara praptihi
dhirastatra na muhyadi.
Dhirastatra na muhyati.
Now chant 4 times.
Dehinosmin
yatha dehe
Dehinosmin yatha dehe Dehinosmin yatha dehe Dehinosmin yatha dehe Dehinosmin yatha dehe
kaumaram yauvanam jara
Kaumaram yauvanam jara Kaumaram yauvanam jara Kaumaram yauvanam jara Kaumaram yauvanam jara
tatha dehantara praptihi
Tatha dehantara praptihi Tatha dehantara praptihi Tatha dehantara praptihi तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिः
धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति
धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति.
I thought of taking up the next verse also. Shall I? Yes. Or I will show you some story. I wanted to teach at least 2 verses. So shall I teach the next verse? Yes. It's a very, very important verse. I want all of you to learn it. In Bhagavad Gita, 3 are the factors that Krishna discusses. These are the 3 factors which constitute the entire process of life, living and achievement. Are you following me? Yes. You are all living in this world. When I ask you, will you please tell me what is life and what is living? Nobody has any answer for it. Is it right? So in the whole of our life, we have only 3 factors. One is the living personality of ours, the human personality. The next is the world that surrounds it. The third is the interaction between the 2. The moment you wake up in the morning, the interaction starts till you sleep. When there is an interaction, at least there are 2 factors between which the interaction is possible. One is your own personality, and the next is the entire world. You may be at home, in the professional front, in the societal front. In whichever front you are, is there any change in you, the individual? Huh? Do you change? Only the world changes, so to say. You interact with persons, places and environments and different types of events. This is what happens there. Persons, places and events. They are variable, but the interacting individual is not at all so. So all interactions are interactions so far as you are concerned, your interaction with the rest. Where does this interaction proceed from? Tell me. Your interaction proceeds from you or from the other? See, this is a class. I want you to learn. I am not talking to birds and animals. You have to respond. The interaction starts from you or starts from the world. Who wakes up? Does the world ever wake up? Who sees the world? Does the world see you? So what is this world? What is it? Is it anything? You can wake up, you can go to sleep, you can dream, but poor world can do nothing. It's only a place for you to live, that's all. Make use of. So our life is an interaction. Interaction between the individual and the rest of the world. So Krishna discusses the human personality, the complexity of the world on the other hand, and the art and science and process of interaction between them. By these 3, the whole subject of life stands covered. Do you agree or not? Yes. Here he analyzes the life. He says, our life as an experience. As an experience, our life is experiential. There is no time in your life when you don't experience anything. We experience our sleep. We experience our wakefulness. We experience dream. 16 hours we are wakeful. Half that period we are asleep. Wakefulness emerges from sleep. It goes into sleep. Tell me who generates wakefulness then? Nobody can wake up except from sleep. So what is the source of wakefulness? Sleep. And from wakefulness you again go to sleep. So the wakefulness is in between two sleeps. Do you agree or not? Yes. So what is an interaction? Where is it taking place? He says we have got senses, 5 of them. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. These are the only senses we have. Nothing else we have. Nothing else we have. And these 5 senses are contacting their objects, one after the other. Maybe sometimes 2 together. So our life is a constant interaction between the senses on your body and the objects of the world surrounding you. He uses a word here, matra sparsha. The word matra refers to the senses in this sense. It is with our senses that we measure and identify the world objects. You look at an object and you say it is white or black. On what ground do you say that? On the basis of your eye and its vision. And whatever the eye sees, no other organ can replace or question. In seeing the color and shape, our eye is the sole organ. In hearing the ears, in smelling the nose, in tasting the tongue, and in touching the skin. And we only have 5, 5 and 5. All interactions are therefore what? Color, sight, sound, smell, taste and touch. Who make them so? Our senses. You find infinite number of objects, infinite kinds of objects in this world. All that infinity is reduced into 5 when we interact with them. I don't think you are attending me. No? Because I don't find that response and sensitiveness in you. We speak of the world as various. Infinite distances and infinite variety are there. Where is the variety when you interact and experience them? Do you know of anything other than sight, sound, smell, taste and touch? Tell me one extra item in the world. சொல்லுங்களேன் ஊமையா இருக்காதுங்கோ. So is the world various and infinite or is it only 5? Stand up and say it's only 5. I was fearful. Fearful. You are looking at the objects, but the objects do not look at you. You wake up. Poor world does not wake up. You wake up. Wakefulness is an expression, extension from you. I see the world. I only speak of the world which I see. Does the world speak about us? Huh? No. What is this world consisting of? Solid earth, fluid water, gaseous air, hot and brilliant fire, and indescribable space. All of them are inert. These are constituting the world. We have the Panchabhutas plus the mind and intelligence. So tell me, are we world plus or world minus? World plus. I wish all of you know this. Living in this world as if good for nothing. I have written me off. Matra sparshaha means contact between the senses and the objects. This is what world is. It starts from the time you wake up and you sink into sleep. In the whole of your life, do you know? You only do two things. Either you are wakeful or you are asleep. What? Suppose you go to sleep and you don't wake up, what will happen? Maybe you can enter into sleep, but can you wake up from sleep? Your system will have to wake you up. You have no option. It's all arranged by nature. So, matra sparshaha tu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkada. Whenever there is a contact between the senses and the object, automatically, like heat and cold, sukha and dukkha will be had. Sukha and dukkha will be had. Don't think that you will have only sukha, happiness. Equally you will have unhappiness also. Why don't you say? As we are having happiness, so we will have. During the day it's all light, during night it's all. From tomorrow onwards it will be only light. No, that's not possible. And the sukha and dukkha are sensorily or bodily experienced, shita and ushna, cold and heat. Our five senses make the entire world into five. And the experience is in the sensory level. What do the senses do? They send electrical pulses to the brain, and inside experience and knowledge are formed. So you tell me, where are you experiencing the world? Inside the body or in the senses? And in that level of experience, he says, all the sensations put together, the entire world equals that board you have taken away. I want you to write, the entire world equals five sensations. I want you to understand it. The infinite world, the world of infinite variety, when you experience it, it just becomes five. How many? Five. What are they? Sight, sound. Sollungolenamma. Sound, smell, taste, and touch. Tell me, is there any sixth sensation that you can have from the world? No. And these sensations, are they produced by your senses or the world? And these sensations, when they go to the mind, they simply become sukha dukkha daha. Sukha dukkha daha. They generate sukha and dukkha. Outside it appears to be infinite. In the sensory level, our senses reduce the infinitude into five. And when they go to the mind reduces them to two. And when you go to sleep, even they, poof. Just see, where are you? The entire world is gone when you sleep. So who can wipe off the world? Don't you wipe off the world? Yes. Every day? Yes. Don't you have the capacity to do so? Yes. Why don't you learn it? And be a master? Either it is sukha or it is dukkha. Either it is sukha or it is dukkha. Are they two different from each other? No. The absence of sukha is dukkha, and the absence of dukkha is sukha. Without dukkha, you cannot have sukha. So is dukkha necessary or not? ഒന്ന് ചൊല്ലും കൊള്ളേൻ. Sukha can only follow dukkha, and sukha will be followed by dukkha. So for every sukha you have how many dukkhas? 2. This side and that side it is sukha, and you have in between a little sukha. This side and that side it is dukkha. It is just like feeding a man who is to be hanged in a moment. He is given a big feast. Can he enjoy it? Huh? Similarly, after dukkha you enjoy a little sukha, only to be pushed and driven to dukkha. Are you not ashamed? This is India's culture. We are not enamored of anything in this world, either prosperity or pomp or power or glory. We are proud of our own mind, our own intelligence, our own I. We challenge everything in this world. My dear world, I want nothing. Nothing from you. Tons of gold. Whoo! My inner treasure is greater than anything that you can imagine. It is this philosophy, this discussion that enables you to be so. Agamapayinaha. Sukha and dukkha repeatedly come and go. Can you have a sukha which does not go? Can you have a dukkha which will not go? They are given to coming and going. If at all anybody does not come and go, it is the I, you, that. So tell the sukha dukkhas, come and go. Whenever you want, you come. Whenever you want, you go. I will enable you to come and go. Tan tidikshasva bharata. Forbear them. Understand that they are transitory. They are fleeting. They are fleeting. They are transitory. They are evanescent. They are changeful. What is sukha? Are they two or only one? One. Either you call it sukha or you call it dukkha. The lowest degree of sukha is the highest degree of dukkha. Or the lowest degree of dukkha is the highest degree of sukha. So how many are there? Are there really two or only one? Then why are you enamored of sukha? And why are you frightened about dukkha? Can you not take a superior, even position? முடியுமா முடியாதா? எப்போ முடியும்? செத்து போனதுக்கு பிறகா அதுக்கு முன்னாடியா? This is what I want. முடியுமா? எப்போ? எவ்வளவு நாள் எடுப்பீங்க நீங்கள்? சொல்லவாவது செய்யுங்கோ. தான் திதிக்ஷஸ்வ பாரதா. Arjuna, forbear them. Forbear them. What is that forbearance? It is not lying on a hot sand bed or dipping yourself in the cool Ganges waters. This is a forbearance of the mind. Of what? Of the fleeting coming and going sukha dukkhas, happiness and unhappiness. I am not enamored of you, my dear happiness, nor am I abhorring you, my dear dukkha. My position is superior to both. I will float in my harmony towards you. No sukha will delude you, and no dukkha will depress you. Would you like to have such a position? Yes. That is what Arjuna attained. That is how he could take back his bow and arrow and fight. मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेया
मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय
मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु
मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु
कौन्तेया
कौन्तेय
मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेया
मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय
शीतोष्ण
शीतोष्ण
सुख दुःखदाः
सुख दुःखदाः
शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः
शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः
आगमापायिनो
आगमापायिनो
अनित्याः
अनित्याः
तान्
तान्
तितिक्षस्व
तितिक्षस्व
भारत
भारत
இங்கே பாருங்க பா பா roll your lip inward and then say bha bha तान् तितिक्षस्व भारत
तान् तितिक्षस्व भारत
मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेया
मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय
शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः
शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः
आगमापायिनो नित्याः
आगमापायिनो नित्याः
तान् तितिक्षस्व भारत
तान् तितिक्षस्व भारत
Tan and Titikshaswa, when joined in Sanskrit, it becomes Tam Titikshaswa. That is why it is written there. So you can pronounce it in the way it is there. Matra sparshastu kaunteya
मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय
शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः
शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः
आगमापायिनो नित्याः
आगमापायिनो नित्याः
तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत
तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत
নতুন আমি যা চাইছি সে সাউন্ড পাচ্ছে না তুমি একটু গিয়ে দেখবে আরো একটু শব্দ চাই আমি Oh, then this is nothing can be done. Now you have to repeat it 4 times. Are you ready? Yes. Ready? Yes. Lift your hands who are ready. Okay, very good. Matra sparshastu kaunteya शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्याः तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेया
मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय
शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः
शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः
आगमापायिनो नित्याः
आगमापायिनो नित्याः आगमापायिनो नित्याः आगमापायिनो नित्याः आगमापायिनो नित्याः
तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत
तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत.
Is it okay? Then I will tell you in brief the story of Hanuman. Rama and Lakshmana, after having missed Sita, started the journey in search of her. Before that, Rama was very, very sorrowful. He started crying aloud. Ultimately, Lakshmana had to tell him, "My dear brother, are you not a Sthitaprajna, a knower of truth? Can you be crying and weeping like this? We don't know what has happened to the sister-in-law. She is missing. Naturally, somebody must have taken her. Our role is to search her out. This is not the time for crying or lamenting. I miss my Sita, your hair looks like this looks like this." Stop all kinds of talk. Our goal must be to search and hunt her. So, muster courage. Let us go. They started walking. They started walking in different places. Where will they walk? But Rama could have sent a slip to Bharata, who was ruling Ayodhya. I want to have somebody, army or so. He did not send. He was bound by forest exile. So he remained with his brother. Sita is gone. He would not think of getting resources or help from Bharata. So they started searching. They went to Rishyamukha mountain. What? Mountain. Upon that mountain, Sugriva and his camp were there. They were living. Sugriva was mortally afraid of his brother, elder brother Vali. So Vali drove him away. And finally he found refuge in Rishyamukha. Rishyamukha was a mountain where Vali could not step in, then he will die. So Sugriva got a refuge in that mountain. One day when they looked down, they found two youngsters looking almost alike. Not almost, looking alike. In an ascetic dress, two people have come. A sight which was impossible there. Sugriva looked at them. What is this? Something new. Is it that Bali has sent some messengers to search us out? What are we to do now? So they started wondering what should be done. We should know why these people have come here. Who will go and address them? Sugriva felt that Hanuman was the right person. Hanuman was the right person, not other ministers, Hanuman. He proposed to Hanuman that he should go down and find out the details. Hanuman said yes. He thought for a while. The people who have come are ascetics. If I go in my monkey's dress, I don't think there will be any result. So much of difference between me and them will be there, then they won't trust me, they won't even look at me, or they may discharge their arrows at me. So I should dress myself as an ascetic as they have done. So he put on the robe of ascetic and went there. When he looked at them, looked at whom? The ascetic Rama and Lakshmana. You know, they were born almost at the same time. Both of them are Dasharatha's sons. They were looking so alike. There is no age difference. They were looking like twins. So he wanted to prostrate before them. Suppose he wants to prostrate, he must prostrate before the elder first and then the younger one. When he looked at them, he could not make out who was elder and who was younger. So he decided to do one prostration at the center, catching hold of their feet with right hand and left hand. Can you understand? This is real intelligence, is it not? Never do anything before thinking. Never do anything before thinking. If somebody gives you anything, don't receive it. You should ask him, why are you giving? Are we out to take whatever others give? Don't you have a hope? Are you not looked after by the parents? So you are the prestigious children of a good family, or you are loafers. Huh? No answer. Huh? Tell me, my dear children, are you loitering in the streets? Or are you prestigious children of a very good family? Then why should you receive what others give? Are you beggars? Are you every day waiting to be fed by the neighbor or from your own parents? So you must have prestige, that you should understand. So he prostrated before both, got up and started addressing them. He introduced himself, introduced his master, and the circumstances in which he had come down to inquire about them. After listening to his speech, you know what Rama said? These are things which touch my heart very much. Can you imagine an author, as an ascetic author, Valmiki, who has penned this biography of a great prince and king? By writing this biography, he has captured the entire mankind. 5,000 years have gone, and the book is still printed afresh, millions and millions of copies, within India and outside. It continues to be a subject of study by the scholars, discussion by critics, and dissemination by sages. 5,000 years have passed. Can you tell me of any such book? Huh? People are looking for the original scripts, where a long vowel has not become short, nor a short one has changed into a long one. What the sage Valmiki wrote, we want that alone, intact. This is the search of the people. Rama heard Hanuman. He proposed that, come along with me, I will take you to my master. So there was no time to discuss and debate. Hanumanji, you go, we will discuss it for a while, and tomorrow you come. No, nothing like that. Suppose Hanuman proposed to you, come, I will take you, what will you say? Rama looked at Lakshmana. Lakshmana, did you not hear what Hanuman said? He was speaking with a moderate tone. And there is beautiful grammar and literature in whatever he has said. So his words are trustworthy. We cannot postpone our decision. Here we come. And how they went? Hanuman asked them, get upon my shoulders. Rama sat on one shoulder and Lakshmana sat on another shoulder. Hanuman started climbing. There he introduced Sugriva to them. Poor Sugriva, he was foolish. Immediately Sugriva said, let us have a pact, shake hands. Then Hanuman felt very bad. A pact, if at all, it has to be done in a ceremonial manner. So suddenly he found, I don't know, Konnapook ennu solluva? Endha paraya? For Vishu you use a type of flower. Huh? Golden shower. Suddenly he plucked a few flowers and put them underneath their hands to make the occasion a little ceremonial and sublime. What do you say about Hanuman? He speaks in a moderate tone and there is grammar, no spelling mistake, no usage mistake. Say a person who can deliver such a speech, what do you think of? You know what is the greatest in human life? என்ன சொல்றீங்க? A scientist is not much honored in this world, but a social reformer is ever remembered. Somebody who has led the people to liberate the country will be remembered, will be immortalized. You must have a good heart and a good intelligence. You must be a combination of good heart and good intelligence. This is what I thought of telling you about Hanuman. I have something more to add. In Sanskrit, in English and other languages, we have only single number and plural number. What? In Sanskrit, we have a dual number. Our eyes are two, ears are two, holes two, two rows of teeth, two legs. We have a lot of two. So we must also have a word to indicate two. So we have got 12 number. Here were two people before him. Not one, not three. So he used liberally the dual number of Sanskrit and addressed them. ரொம்ப அழகா இருக்கும். If you go through Ramayana, the manner in which he used the dual number to address Rama and Lakshmana without differentiation, indicating both of them, is very beautiful. Hanuman has done some very glorious act during the Rama-Ravana war. Crisis. You know, Lakshmana virtually died. What is that doctor's name? Who wanted to treat Lakshmana? There is a name of the doctor. He said, nothing can be done. Mrita Sanjeevani has to be brought from Himalayas. Then I can try, he said. Who will go there? Hanuman went there. He could not identify the herb. Which is Mrita Sanjeevani herb and which are the others? So he decided. He plucked the whole mountain and brought it. For the doctor to identify the medicine. This is how you fulfill a mission. I was asked, a vision for the people SIRD, especially the youth. This is the vision. Be Hanuman. Like him. Be very intelligent. Sushena. Sushena was the name of the doctor, who said, if you get Mrita Sanjeevani, I will restore him. Nothing short of it. Everywhere is this wonderful Hanuman of immense help. Immense help. Timely wisdom. You know, this Hanuman is praised in our country. In Hindi, there is something called Hanuman Chalisa. I have not read it. I have heard it, that's all. Whenever you want to achieve something great, glorious and rare, you read a description of Hanuman, Sundarakanda, and then proceed. It will reinforce your mind and heart. It will give you strength, confidence, enthusiasm, resolve, expectation, hope. Our mind can develop any extent of qualities, any extent. Any extent. One of these days I will tell you about some of the qualities of the mind. Gita is a book where the mental and intellectual or intelligential qualities and excellences are discussed, described, debated upon, and delightfully presented. I think psychologists should go into this book and conduct a research for their purpose. Okay, we shall stop now. Advaita bodhabja sahasra rashmi shanter ladaya kila kalpa vriksha samsara santapa vinasha chandra Krishna sada kladakaro mamastu Krishna sada kladakaro mamastu Hari, Hari, Hari. We shall have the conclusional Omkara. Take your pose for it. Hari Om Tats. Jai Guru. Jai Guru.